You can see here the position is the one. Click on the position and you see here this is my object definition, the position object definition, guys. There are a lot of fields being displayed here. You can see here. And yes, say if I want to add a couple of custom fields, I can go ahead and add those fields here. Or say if I want to remove some standard fields provided by SuccessFactors, yes, I can go ahead and delete them. And it's pretty simple, guys. You don't need to worry. You can see here, say if you want to look at some, you can see the description. Click here, the edit. One second, let me take an action and make corrections. You see here, say if you are interested in clicking on the standard hours, you see right now standard is defined as 255 field length and it's a decimal, and if you click on delete details, you will be able to see all their details. You can see you can maintain their properties. You don't need to look back at your XML files to work on these objects, guys. You can always work using the configure object definitions, and you don't need to write any code also, guys. Everything is going to be automatic, and you will be able to do that from the configure object definitions administrative tool, guys. And if you want to change your positions, like say you can see here, if you want to move a particular field position, yes, you can drag and drop. You can just use this arrow buttons to move the positions, and if you want to delete it completely, yes, you can go ahead and delete it completely. And if you want to change the definition of the data type of the field, you can see here, you can always change the data type of the field as well. Okay, and say let me show you one thing, guys. Just give me a second. Go. Ignore this thing, guys. Whatever I'm doing it here, but I'll show you like what I'm going to do it here. Let me delete this rule, guys. Yeah, no worries, guys. I'll show you that. See, I have a requirement from my organization stating that, so in your success factors, basically, yes, Mita, you can do that. You can always add fields to your portlets or remove the fields from your portlets, Shweta. See.
Okay.
Yeah.
Portlets also, I mean, even entire portlet also we can add on it, right?
Yes, correct, Shweta.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fine.
Okay. No worries. See, say I have a requirement. Usually in success factors or any cloud system, what happens is like you don't have a internal number range, guys. Everything is going to be maintained by the people who are entering the data. If you see here, even the user IDs that usernames or the user record that we uploaded into the system, we maintain the usernames. The system is not going to assign the usernames. At the same time, when you create a new position or when you create a company, so far whatever we have seen, right, we are the ones who gave the ID, right? If you remember, we went to the company, and when we creating a company, we gave the name, the company _ USA _ something, blah blah blah. So the system is not generating any ID. But usually any customer who are familiar with, at least who are using SAP HCM, they are all familiar with the internal number ranges, right? They expect that the system should generate the number for that particular instance of the object automatically by its own, and they want to go with a specific number range for each entity. Say if they are creating a company, they want to see a number range starting from like say 2000 to 5,000. And if when they are creating a location, they want to see a number range starting from 6,000 to 7,000. Like that, they are interested to see the system is being generated the numbers, and they want to go with the specific patterns to identify that. And yes, by default, SuccessFactors is not going to provide that capability, but you have something called as a rules engine. The business rules of your SuccessFactors system will help you to achieve the similar kind of functionality in your SuccessFactors, guys. So all you have to do is like you have to write some rules to achieve that particular functionality, guys. Say on my position, if I want to generate a sequence number, how I am going to do that is like, I know that my position object name. So once you know the position object name, right, how you are going to do that is, if you go business rules, sorry guys. You can see configure business rules. Configure business rules. And if you want to create a new rule, you can see, click on create new rule. And what you are going to try to do is like, you are going to create a new rule. What is the rule ID that you are interested to keep here? And the rule ID is going to be like, say, position sequence number. And we are writing the rule on the position object, guys. Remember that. This is going to be very important, guys. Position object, yes. And the rule name, the position, something, guys, it is mandatory to give, but anything you can just go ahead and give that, guys. Not an issue. And it is going to be effective starting from and the rule type is going to be your position management. You are doing a rule on the position management rule type. So where you are going to get this rule type is, I'll show you guys. This is nothing but a pick list, guys. It is nothing specific to that, but it is nothing but a pick list. I'll show you as you are working on the position, right? Just keep typing position, it will show you the position management. But if you want to create your own custom pick list, which you want to show, which you want to see under these rule types, yes, you will be able to create that. I'll show you where to create that. And you can see here, I'm writing the conditions, guys. The simple conditions. So what I am trying to do is like, when you let me come back here, guys. So this is how you are creating a position, right? You have to populate all these fields. But when the system is going to generate the position ID, or when you want to make sure the system is going to populate the position ID, you have to define certain attributes such that those attributes are not going to be editable by the user. So basically you are turning off the editable functionality from the object definition, guys. So where you will be doing that is like, if you go to your configure object definitions, if you go to your configure object definitions, and 1 second, this is the place, guys, sorry. Position is the one that we want to change. And here you can see these are the fields and their properties, right? And you want to change the properties of the field, and the position ID is not supposed to be generated by the system. You want to make it as read only. Then only the system will be able to update the position ID, and it doesn't allow users to go ahead and edit that. Yes, in order to do that, you have to make sure that the position ID field is set to read only, guys. So you have to find out where is the position ID field. Let me, you can see here, guys, This is the one, guys, position ID. Click on this. You see here the label here. Usually you'll find out like most of this external code is nothing but the ID of that particular, the technical ID of that particular object, guys. You see here the code is the name and the external code is the database field name, that is the technical field name. And if you click on details, you see what is the position that you are going to display to the users. It's not straightforward, but usually you learn that on the experience, guys, because you don't see more details here. The labels you don't see that, but usually on the screen we are going to see the label properties. But here we are not seeing those labels. Yes, that is a little bit tricky thing, or you learn that on based on the experience. You see here, this is the code and external code, and click on details. And yes, you can see here, you are able to see all these things. And right now you can see here, it is set to read only. That is the reason, as it is set to read only, you are not able to update the position ID. Let me turn it off, guys, the position ID. Where is the code? Go here and make it editable. And let me save this. I saved that, right? Let me show you how the position is going to look like, guys. The position, when you are trying to update the position, it's a little bit different than whatever I have showed you earlier. So once you go here, and now if you go to your admin tools and go to manage positions, and position is the one. These are the existing positions, guys. If you want to create a new position, click on position, and now you can see here the position ID is open. Yes, you can go to, let's say if you want to create a new position, like say position underscore March, and this anything you can keep it, guys, and active, and it is starting date and vacant, yes. And if you want to assign that to a company, yes, you can go and assign to a company, and specific to some business unit, yes, you can go under division. There are no divisions, guys. Let me save it. And you can see this is your workflow, guys. I'll tell you like how to configure your workflow, and this screen is coming up because there is a workflow tied to your position object. So all the new positions, whatever being created, right, they should be approved, guys. And you can see here, view workflow participant, who are the people. The talent approval is a group, guys. So any one of these groups should approve this particular position that you are trying to create. And it is a very important question, guys. When you have a group of people contributing to the workflow, because the approvers can be anyone, guys, and there are a couple of contributors you can assign specific to your contributors. Say if you have a group assigned as contributors, what they can do, they can only receive the email notifications, or they can only update the comments on the workflow, guys. They cannot approve that. They are the contributors, they cannot approve that. They'll receive the email notifications and they can add comments onto that particular workflow. And when you have a group of people assigned as approvers, if one of them approves the workflow, right, gone, that's it. The entire object is, or the entity is going to be approved, and the emails that has been received by all the other people, right, they will be removed from their inboxes, guys. It won't be removed. The link that has been provided to approve it, right, is no more active, guys. I'll show you how to configure workflows, but this is coming up because of your workflow configuration or workflow tied to your position object, guys. Let me say